The room was quiet, almost too quiet, as if the air itself was holding its breath. A single candle flickered on the table, casting shadows that seemed alive, moving in ways that made the edges of reality feel strange and uncertain. A man sat, alone, his eyes closed, taking slow, deep breaths, and in that moment, the world outside seemed to pause along with him. What if everything we thought was solid and certain, the walls, the objects, even time itself, was not as fixed as it seemed? What if the universe, in some invisible way, responded to the quiet whispers of our own hearts? The idea seemed impossible, almost magical, yet science had begun to uncover secrets that hinted at something far stranger than ordinary life. In laboratories around the world, tiny particles were behaving in ways that defied common sense. A photon, when not observed, could exist in two places at once, yet the moment someone looked at it, it chose a single path. The universe seemed to bend in response to observation, as if it were listening, watching, waiting, and responding. But observation is not just about eyes and cameras. Some scientists began to wonder if awareness itself, consciousness, might reach further than we ever imagined. Could human thoughts, emotions, and intentions ripple out into the world in ways we cannot yet see? And if that were true, what part of us could reach the farthest into the fabric of reality? The man opened his eyes slowly, his gaze soft but focused. He did not speak, but his heartbeat was steady and strong, a rhythm that had guided life for centuries. Yet it was more than just a pulse, more than a signal that he was alive. Some researchers suggested that the heart creates a powerful electromagnetic field, one that extends far beyond the body, even beyond the room, perhaps touching the world around it, unseen but real. Imagine a world where thoughts are seeds, and feelings are the water and sunlight that help them grow. Each heartbeat could be sending ripples into the invisible web of reality, gently shaping outcomes in ways too subtle for most people to notice. And yet, the possibilities were breathtaking. The simplest intention could, in theory, alter events, change probabilities, or nudge reality towards something new and unexpected. He lifted a small glass of water and held it in his hands, staring at it, not thinking consciously about any outcome, just feeling a sense of deep calm and connection. Some studies suggested that water itself could respond to human emotion, forming patterns, crystals, or vibrations based on love, fear, awe, gratitude. Was it possible that his quiet focus could create a small change in the water? A tiny proof of something far larger at work. The candle flickered again, as if acknowledging his presence. The shadows danced more freely, stretching and shrinking like whispers of some hidden truth. Outside the window, the city lights shimmered, ordinary, and yet, in that moment, they felt alive with possibility. Everything seemed connected: the man, the water, the candle, the universe itself. And somewhere deep inside, he felt it. A stirring sense that reality was not just happening to him, but with him. The question lingered, heavy and impossible to ignore. Could the heart, the quiet, constant drum inside every human chest, really influence the universe? Could emotions, intentions, and awareness be threads in a web of infinite possibilities, pulling and weaving reality in ways science was only beginning to glimpse? It was a thought that could change everything, and yet it remained tantalizingly just out of reach. And so, the man continued to sit, breathing slowly, feeling the rhythm of his heart, feeling the hum of life around him. And in that stillness, the universe seemed to lean closer, listening, waiting, ready to reveal its secrets to those who dared to notice. The story of how our hearts might shape reality was only beginning. And for anyone willing to explore, it promised wonder, mystery, and a truth that could change the way we see everything. The man opened a small book. Its pages yellowed and worn, but he was not reading for facts alone. He was searching for understanding, for the hidden rules that might explain the strange connection between his heart and the world around him. Science, after all, had begun to reveal secrets that felt almost magical. In the tiniest corners of reality, particles danced in ways that no one fully expected. A photon could travel through two paths at the same time, existing in multiple possibilities, until someone observed it, and then, instantly, it chose just one. Reality seemed to wait, holding its choices until awareness stepped in. It was as if the universe had a memory, a response, and a curiosity of its own. The man imagined these particles like tiny mirrors, reflecting not only the world around them but also the attention, the focus, the very presence of those observing. The ordinary rules of cause and effect seemed to bend at the quantum level. He thought of Schrödinger's cat, a story both simple and strange. A cat, locked in a box, could be alive and dead at the same time, until the box was opened, until someone looked. Reality itself remained undecided. It was an example that challenged everything people assumed about the world. And yet, it was not just a story, it was a hint that consciousness mattered, that observation, awareness, even intention, could play a role in shaping outcomes. Could it be that the heart, with its steady beat and vast energy field, was more than a biological pump, that it might somehow influence the probabilities of events? He closed his eyes, feeling the rhythm within, imagining the invisible dance of particles. The idea was not fantasy, but a question that science was daring to explore, from labs with lasers and detectors to studies of human consciousness. There were signs that reality was not entirely fixed, that the observer might not be separate from what was observed. Every heartbeat, every thought, every feeling could be a note in a symphony of possibility. And for the man sitting quietly, the question became more urgent. What if understanding this connection could allow humans to interact with reality in ways never imagined? Could the smallest intentions ripple outward, nudging outcomes, creating subtle shifts that, over time, shaped the world itself? The possibilities felt endless, and yet they were just beginning to unfold. Reality was not only a place to live, but a canvas to explore, and the heart might just be the brush, guiding the unseen hand of creation. The man placed his hand over his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. It was a rhythm he had known all his life, yet in this quiet moment, it seemed to speak in a new language, one that science was only beginning to understand. For centuries, people thought the brain alone controlled thought, emotion, and perception. But recent discoveries suggested the heart was more than a simple pump. It generates a powerful electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain's. Can it reach as far beyond the body? The man imagined this field like ripples in a pond, extending outwards, touching the world in ways invisible but real. Scientists found that the heart communicates with the brain in complex ways, sending signals that influence thought, feeling, and even perception. Could it be that the heart also sends messages into the universe, a subtle language of intention and energy? He remembered reading about studies where emotions influence physical systems, where water crystals formed differently when exposed to love, gratitude, or fear. It was as if the heart's energy could shape patterns in the world, not through magic, but through a connection science had yet to fully explain. The man's heartbeat quickened slightly, not with fear, but with awareness. Each beat was a reminder of the life within him and the life around him. Could consciousness, centered in the heart, act as a bridge to the unseen quantum world? Could his feelings, his focus, gently nudge reality in ways small but meaningful? He pictured the heart as a lighthouse, sending beams of energy into the fog of uncertainty, guiding events, probabilities, and possibilities. A simple emotion: joy, compassion, gratitude, could in theory ripple outward, touching not only his life, but the world around him. The man felt a strange thrill, a mixture of wonder and responsibility. If the heart was more than a biological organ, if it could influence reality, even subtly, then every feeling mattered, every intention carried weight. The idea was both humbling and inspiring, a call to pay attention to the quiet, powerful rhythm within, and in that stillness, he realized the truth of the moment. The heart was not separate from the universe. It was an active participant, a silent force weaving together consciousness and reality, and understanding its power could change not only the way he saw the world, but the way the world responded to him. The man sat quietly, eyes closed, focusing on the gentle beat of his heart. It was a rhythm both ordinary and extraordinary, a steady signal that connected him to the world in ways he could feel but could not see. Some scientists believed that this connection might reach into the very fabric of reality itself. He imagined a single thought, like a small spark, carried by the heart's energy out into the universe. Could that spark influence events, shift probabilities, or open tiny doors in the unseen world? Experiments in consciousness research hinted at this possibility, showing that focused intention could create subtle effects on physical systems. The man thought of water again, its surface shimmering in the candlelight, Studies suggested that positive feelings, love, gratitude, appreciation could influence the structure of water, even creating symmetrical, harmonious patterns. The heart, sending its electromagnetic pulses, might act like a transmitter, broadcasting intention in ways invisible but measurable. He took a slow breath, imagining a simple goal, a small positive change. The intention was clear, pure, and filled with feeling. He pictured it spreading outward, like ripples across a pond, touching events, probabilities, and perhaps even other minds. The process was quiet, almost imperceptible, yet the possibilities were profound. The man realized that this was not about forcing outcomes or controlling others. It was about aligning consciousness and heart, sending focused energy into the universe and allowing reality to respond naturally. Each feeling, each heartbeat, each moment of awareness could contribute to a subtle reshaping of the world around him. He pictured the heart as a gardener, planting seeds of possibility. The mind provided the vision, the focus, but the heart gave it life. The invisible connection between thought, feeling, and the quantum world suggested that humans could influence reality not through magic, but through attention, clarity, and genuine emotion. And as he sat, breathing in rhythm with his heart, he felt a quiet thrill of responsibility and wonder. If the heart could guide manifestation, even in small ways, then every thought mattered, every intention carried weight, and the universe might respond in ways that were waiting patiently for him to notice. For the first time, the man understood that manifestation was not just a concept, it was a living process, a dialogue between heart, mind, and reality, and that the journey to understanding it was only beginning. The man leaned back, eyes drifting toward the window where the city lights twinkled like tiny stars. He thought about the rhythm of his heart and the quiet ripples of intention it sent into the world. Science had begun to reveal patterns, but philosophy offered even deeper questions. What is reality? He wondered. If the world is not entirely fixed, if particles, events, and even outcomes respond in part to observation, could the universe itself be a living conversation, and are humans active participants rather than passive spectators? The idea was both thrilling and humbling. He thought of the philosophers who had asked similar questions for centuries, about perception, consciousness, and free will. Modern science was beginning to provide evidence that these were not just abstract ideas, but measurable aspects of reality. Consciousness could no longer be dismissed as a byproduct of the brain alone. It might be a force that shapes the world. The man reflected on the heart again. Its beat a constant dialogue with the body, the mind, and perhaps the universe. Could emotions like love, gratitude, or compassion be not just personal experiences, but tools for influencing reality? Could the act of feeling deeply, with intention, create waves in the quantum field that ripple outward? He imagined reality as a tapestry, threads weaving together events, people, and possibilities. Each person, each thought, each feeling added a thread, some bright and strong, some faint and subtle. The heart, sending its invisible signals, might guide the weave, creating patterns both seen and unseen. And yet, the man knew this was only the beginning of understanding. Science could measure fields and particles, philosophy could ask questions, but the heart offered the bridge between knowing and experiencing, between possibility and manifestation. It was a living reminder that humans were not separate from the universe, but deeply entangled with it. He felt a quiet awe, imagining the world as an interactive, responsive place where every intention mattered, where consciousness and feeling shaped the very fabric of existence. The thought was simple, yet profound. Reality was not only happening around him, it was happening with him, and as he breathed, feeling the pulse of life within and around him, he realized the truth of the journey. Understanding the heart's role in consciousness was not just science, not just philosophy, but an invitation to explore, to participate, and to awaken to the possibility that the universe listens, responds, and perhaps even co-creates with him. The man opened his eyes slowly, feeling the steady rhythm of his heart. Each beat was a reminder that life was not only around him, but flowing through him. He realized that understanding the heart's connection to reality was not just a concept, but something to experience and practice. He thought about small ways to test it, simple actions that anyone could try. The first was awareness, noticing the heartbeat, the feeling of energy in the chest, feeling gratitude, joy, or compassion, even for a few moments each day, could send subtle ripples into the world. The second was intention, focusing clearly on a goal or a positive change, visualizing it, feeling it as if it were already real, and trusting that the universe, in its subtle ways, could respond. He imagined sending these intentions like tiny messages, carried by the heart, reaching into the invisible fabric of reality. The third was observation, noticing how life responded, paying attention to small changes and patterns, learning to see the effects of focused attention and feeling, even in small, ordinary ways. The man realized that this was not about controlling the world, but about participating consciously, shaping reality gently and responsibly. He imagined the heart as a bridge, linking mind, emotion, and the universe itself. Each heartbeat a note in a song that could influence reality. Each intention a brushstroke, painting possibilities into the unseen canvas, and the simple act of feeling, deeply and with clarity, became a practice of co-creation. As he rose from his seat, he felt a quiet thrill, a mixture of awe and responsibility. The journey was not over. It was only beginning. Every thought, every feeling, every heartbeat mattered. Each could contribute to shaping the world in ways both subtle and profound. He looked out at the city, lights sparkling like infinite possibilities, and he wondered, with a sense of curiosity and wonder, if the heart truly shapes reality, what will he choose to create next? And for the audience watching, he left the question open, an invitation to explore, to experiment, and to notice the invisible ways the heart connects us all. And in that quiet awareness, he felt the universe leaning closer, listening, responding, waiting for each person to join the dance, to explore the extraordinary power hidden within the ordinary rhythm of the human heart.